had their number up until this point.
Very slow on the last ban. About 9 pick and ban phase last game. It was ridiculously fast. Back and forth. Kazakhs, LeBlanc, what do we got? Actually, I haven't seen too many LeBlanc bans today, if any. I have seen the play, though.
LeBlanc has not been as successful. I think teams are definitely getting used to her map-wide threat. And everybody has been going for that first pick Kazakhs. It is more value to the overall team than the LeBlanc at this point. Everybody evolving R first and just destroying on Kazakhs.
Makes it quite fun. Everybody likes to destroy Jap.
Who doesn't?
One time or another. ZionSpartan. Nintendude's like, we should just do something. Pick something.
He's got a very confused look on his face.
Yeah, for a quick second.
It's like disgust.
A lot. Not a lot. 2 of those bans, Ziggs and Nilly, pointed at Shiphtur. They know he is a huge catalyst in what happens if Coast gets going. The main point man. And they are taking all the time they need on this pick. Like we said, with these wins, it really separates. It's not just a win for somebody. It wins for them, knocks EG down, and starts to close the position for their next spot.
The most important game, by far. These guys are going to play, especially even if we move towards the Super Week. If EG were to walk into that one having lost this game to Coast, they would then basically just be competing not to get into the playoffs, but to not finish 8th. They would only be competing with XGG at that point, whereas if they win this, they still have the chance at making the playoffs.
Sounds like a good deal.
Winning is good, generally.
Sounds like a good deal, but as everything is from a caster in League of Legends, it's always easier to say than do. Snoopeh and Pobelter with the next lock-ins as they're looking at pretty hard initiation. If Daydreamin can hit a solar flare, somebody's going to be dying to that LeBlanc. What can they save it with? Maybe a shield from Lee Sin, maybe a little
top
relentless
lane
pursuit from Illusion to get away.
Very obviously picking that top lane Lee Sin. InnoX had a good game against Shyvana last time. Played Cruiser yesterday with it.
Yeah.
Also, ZionSpartan, if he's going to play the conventional top laner, has shown a lot of success on Shyvana. So InnoX get a mirror matchup in that way.
EG locking those in actually quite fast. It seems like they're getting everything they want so far.
Well, it's because Coast has taken their time with this.
The band's back together and they had an idea. Krepo actually tweeting the other day that, you know, whether or not it was true at the time, the team was still deciding, and he was solo queuing as soon as he got home, making sure he was always playing. Bjergsen was doing the same thing when he was out too.
Bjergsen had 20 kills in his return week in 2 games.
Yeah, that happened.
Supports don't get that many kills. I think Krepo has 20 kills on the year.
If you're Edward, maybe.
Yeah.
To lead the charge.
I like the Varus pick by WizFujiiN. It's showing his comfort right here. It's actually a really nice combo with Leona as far as just detonating everything. If even though very few Varus is actually max Q, if you have 3 points in Leona's W and 3 points in Varus's Q, and Leona just blows up on a creep wave, the Q, the piercing arrow flies through and just gets all the last hits. Most Varus is max Q though.
We saw him going with the swiftness boots as well.
That was weird.
Bit of different buy on Varus.
Yeah.
You can go for you're more of a caster. I mean, you got the blight attacks. They're going to burst out some damage. Chain of Corruption, one of the hardest and most missed ultimates.
Yeah, he missed a lot of them yesterday too. Going against Morgana as well, the Black Shield is going to be something that is difficult for Leona to fight through. Renekton is the lane bully choice to hope InnoX doesn't get going. And if it stays the way it is, EG is going to be doing a lot of rotations with that teleport Lee Sin compared to the Ignite on Renekton.
Very hippity-hoppity. InnoX could be all over the map if he plays it anything like Nien played today. Just the teleport, not the champion. He's going to wreak havoc on the team. I'm going to see if we can get anything big. Last time Coast did this with Varus, they went for the 2v1 using the piercing arrows to pop out that 2v against the 1, and then Evelyn came into lane and they were helping, or whoever the jungler was. We'll see if they do it again. 2v1s have been pretty prominent lately.
As far as Shiphtur being on a champion that fits his old playstyle, LeBlanc is absolutely one of those things. Coast dominated the challenger scene in the offseason by picking heavy roamers for Shiphtur to play, and then he kind of tried too hard to take that play style over the LCS because he never got LeBlanc. When he's on LeBlanc, he can still do it. So pretty nice picks there for Coast.
All right, the game is about to go live, so let's see who you think will take the last win of the day. According to LOLesports.com, it says 53% of you think Coast are going to come out on top. Our most eveningest vote of the day, making up words.
Well, Coast came out on top 3 times prior. Evil Geniuses need this one. They got a big fan following. Everyone is back together. It's an interesting time for EG to be out. It's an unfortunate situation where they had to go back for visas, but the timing was decent because they went out and had just a ridiculously hard schedule with which their substitutes ended up going 0-3 with, and it's, you know, conveniently dodged in that sense.
Indeed.
But the losses still hurt.
The losses hurt a lot as well. Coming in for the mentality of EG, they a lot of people are like, your sister team's doing so well, guys. What happened over here? And that's something they have to play with. Obviously, the players themselves can get by that. It's not a mental block, but it does play against you a little. If you start performing poorly in the game, it kind of ticks on you more, and all those things come into your mind. So hopefully staying very strong in this one. Pobelter looking to get another win on Zed, who actually hasn't fared too well for him. But they're pushing themselves on things that can carry. And with InnoX on Lee Sin, definitely have those cards in place. Gonna have to be a quick game, though. How well are these guys scale into late game if we're looking at EG?
This EG team, well, it's tricky to say. I actually feel like their scaling is fairly comparable to that of Coast. Okay. Really depends on who gets the gold where. Despite having a Lee Sin top who doesn't think to scale well, the rest of the roster can do quite well, but it's really going to be all about these early game rotations, I think.
These ones right here.
Right here. Because EG, with the Dark Binding early, and with the teleport on Lee Sin, holds all the cards. They're the ones that want to make the big move, and Coast are the ones that have to play on the defensive.
EG's always the one to come up with little things to do. Leaving the full team around the side, and it looked like YellowPete was all by his lonesome. Obviously, nobody's going to bite on it, but for the instance, they could have. Always trying to get a quick upper hand in any way possible. Daydreamin starting off with the Relic. Going to be getting some good gold in and healing for Wiz whenever he can. It's very interesting that both supports opted for the support item, Spell Thieves and Relic Shield, but then didn't get a ward. They opted for extra potions. Daydreamin actually has 4 biscuits because he's utility spec, and Krepo has 3 health potions because he is not utility spec. But that lack of ward means big things here early on. EG's going to do a delayed invade. The ping is actually properly guessed by Coast, and they're going to do the old switcheroo. Cat and mouse has begun. Doesn't look like they're going to be finding each other, though. They hear each other on both sides. Wait a minute. That is so dangerous. What Pobelter's coming back, and he may be privy to this information, but they still sidestep each other, not seeing just yet. It looks like they may meet just out of try, though. Oh, man. YellowPete. They're just going to walk by each other. What a risky situation. Daydreamin and Wiz should have the full upper hand here. Level 2 gank possibly from Nintendude. Well, they'd have to land everything, and they waited too long at that point. There's still a potential for jungle collision, though. NintendudeX is going to see that his blue buff is gone. There was no ward left behind, just a minion. And his rates are being taken right now. Oh, my goodness. No way. Okay. There it is. Oh, they're going to find each other. They couldn't really get it. Nintendo gets hit. He almost didn't know he was found at first. And Snoopeh actually wants to peel out of this so they don't backtrack from Coast and Wiz and Daydreamin and take him. Wow. Nintendude, I think, got very surprised. He probably could have killed him right there because his bottom lane was in position to collapse. And it was more that he was just shocked to find someone there that he ended up running away. Snoopeh playing real aggressive. We'll see if NintendudeX not really putting himself on tilt here. We'll see how he coordinates with what just happened. There's the piercing arrows from Wiz, but he's still level 1. Yep, EG got to lane a little bit sooner. Mistimed initiation there. It's also incredibly difficult for Daydreamin to lock down anyone. Yeah. As long as EG stays separated, the black shield will block the stun. Right. Can't give him the delivery system. It's not something that'll help out your AD carry. You can see how YellowPete position in that lane as Shiphtur is taking some shurikens here from Pobelter, getting the blades in the right spot. And Daydreamin putting himself in position for these EQs constantly. Still a fair bit of damage. Comes through. Black shield doesn't stop that Lucian damage. Pobelter getting a ward in. It's going to help him a little bit figure out when NintendudeX is going to be coming for him. Nintendude definitely is more present when he has the gap closing junglers, when he has Elise, when he has Vi. But obviously you wait a little bit on Evelyn to make that impact.
It's important to note too where Pobelter put that ward inside the Wraith Pit, because that's when Evelyn will actually be visible while clearing the Wraiths. Standard ward positions really go out the window when you're playing against Evelyn. It's a whole different experience.
That Trinket's still being held by Shiphtur in mid. He feels comfortable. Keep it safe with the distortion always up. And he won't have to ward just yet. NintendudeX is going to give a little pressure to the bottom lane, so that will be relieved hopefully everywhere else. And they won't see Snoopeh for a counter here if they're in range.
Well, if Daydreamin can go in and get the black shield burned, it would give Nintendude a window to come in. But he's
that's
not
the time.
in the range to. So, desynced right there for Coast.
Working out for Krepo. He's getting that black shield on as soon as that shield daybreak comes in. Gets out very easy, 26 to 30 in that lane. So the pressure, only throwing YellowPete off a few CS, but with Krepo back, you can see a little more initiative in that lane to stay in safe farming position for these guys.
And both these bottom lanes have been under a lot of... We're just going to keep seeing that.
Gotta give him credit, he's hitting all of them.
He's landing a lot of these things, and they're still getting a decent amount of damage down on YellowPete each time it happens.
See if WizFujiiN can carry this. With a bit of a lead, you're bullying out the lane bully right now.
Well,
keep it going.
The thing we haven't paid much attention to is Shiphtur's large advantage early on Pobelter. Really keeping Zed down for now. Whether he can start taking that advantage elsewhere, because LeBlanc is one of those champions who can just take over a game.
Yeah, the damage traits definitely are not helping EG right now. Wiz took a good hit there, but right now the 80 carry is sitting scary.
Confident retrade. Right there. There's an exhaust on Daydreamin versus an ignite on Krepo, so a little bit more kill potential coming out from EG. Just to note when those guys try to all-in each other.
See how ZionSpartan plays this.
The laning phase of Coast is really good right here. Normally, I would expect EG to play a much more rotation-heavy game. That's what I expected them to do coming into this one, because Coast is known to have superior lanes, and that is how they try and beat opponents. It really feels like EG's playing Coast game.
ZionSpartan says, I have 6, but he activates Dominus very early, throwing off this gank immediately. Nintendude may go down here. InnoX level 5, if he had his ult, this would have been a 2v1 coming in for InnoX.
Woo. Not the cleanest dive right there, but InnoX had some good delaying moves there with the ward jump and the flash being used to keep Coast under turret aggro.
I'd be very careful if I was Zion here.
Well, he's got full rage, so he can still pop that Q here.
That's right.
When he wants to.
Getting those potions down. They are chugging both potions right now. No more jungler to the top lane. It was just them having what they could. NintendudeX now goes back towards the bottom, and hopefully he'll find that Kazakh Snoopeh is in his jungle once again.
Yeah, but even just looking at how these lanes match up, Renekton beating on Lee Sin, how Shiphtur's LeBlanc was beating up on Pobelter Zed early on, and even this duo lane with WizFujiiN as most comfortable champion. Lane swapping was the answer for EG from the very start of this one. I really feel like they're fighting from behind when they didn't necessarily need to. Their team play is their greatest strength as a team. Very perplexed as to why they decided to lane up against Coast, but maybe it'll pay off.
See what Krepo can still produce. A lot of the calls come from Snoopeh and Krepo, the voice on the team. And only a 300 gold lead for Coast right now means that the next dragon fight, or I should say the first dragon fight, is going to be quite even coming from both sides. You got one mid laner that can zero someone out, with the junglers looking to do the same thing from the outside positions. Ooh. Snoopeh playing with fire. Playing with fire. Fire's not good.
Away.
Yep. Rah, 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 rah.
Scary double golem right there. He was just making sure to get level 6. Wants to buy as much as he possibly can when he gets back. Gets the one long sword. He wanted that extra minute. Gets the second one with a little bit of wait time.
Sometimes you just ask nicely. See where NintendudeX is. He's going back for his red, so no presence from him coming out into the jungle. A good push by ZionSpartan in the top lane. Hopefully relieving pressure from Snoopeh, but he's leaving InnoX up there alone. He's been in the bottom half of the jungle, and they're still warding on that blue buff, giving it high priority for Shiphtur, or damage on Pobelter. He's already got the blue and wreaking havoc.
The all-in is dicey with LeBlanc. The way that matchup will play out is Zed will try and pop his ultimate as Shiphtur uses all of his burst.
So you don't get silence.
Very skill-intensive matchup when they decide to all at each other. But if Shiphtur lands that much poke, not even competition, Pobelter has to back.
Goes with the Brutalizer first, a little bit of cooldown, a little bit of armor pen. As he comes back to lane, he's also going to have that sword on top of it.
This bottom lane, now that there's a couple level 6s, is going to be all about baiting out the Black Shield and then getting double engagements. We mentioned how the Zenith Blade was landing fairly easily for Daydreamin. He's going to have to land that and then come back later. But a gank opportunity, top lane, Snoopeh double buffs.
Well, one up to the top, one up to the bottom, so it's going to be a gank on both sides of the map. ZionSpartan with a nice slice and dice out, but the Krepo goes down, pretty much negating the movement he just closed. And 8, it's going to be bad for him. 2 level 8s. They're going at it, but the level 7, now with Snoopeh, able to pull up the fight. NintendudeX actually stopped the gank in the bottom lane because of the wards.
Surprised that Zion decided to use his flash. As soon as he got kicked back, he was pretty much dead. He tried his best to get as big a heal off his Q and the mini wave as he could, but good gank there by Snoopeh. It took a while. The laning phase has really calmed down. Nintendude has not made a presence on Eve despite the laning phase, and it's Snoopeh who ends up getting the first kill for his laner.
He's got a pink ward he's going to be walking into here as well. The team pings him out on it, but maybe they'll try to clear it out. With EG out of lane, this is very dangerous for him. He's kind of just guessing right now.
Gives him some time.
Okay, the team comes over.
Yeah, he had the bottom lane support.
Buddy system. Dragon's up. We're going to have to be seeing who wants to get their way over to that first. NintendudeX is hovering towards the top side, thinking he may counter, as Shiphtur is pressing middle. But he's not going to find any aggression other than Pobelter.
Very subdued game so far.
Yeah, we had some high kills coming in. And if not high kills, the first fight brought us at least 4 or 5 from each side.
Last game?
And yeah. Nintendude, once again, not really getting anything out of these. Just the knowledge of where Snoopeh is.
Yeah, he is struggling to find opportunity right now. Doesn't necessarily want to gank Lee Sin, but InnoX with that Tiamat before ZionSpartan does. It's a ward fight. He wants to get it down.
Oh,
is the question.
The wet noodles. They do so much damage. It's all right.
Very tanky crocodile.
InnoX kind of just put himself in there. He's like, all right, every punch for every hit on the ward. We'll go 1 for 1. Neither of them could punch harder. 14.4. Gold is completely even across the map as they try to separate a little bit of it here. A little too aggressive. It seems like things are kind of going off hinge. A little too fast for these ganks.
Well, they know Snoopeh's ultimate is down. But Snoopeh knows Nintendude is here. Deathmark's still up. Nintendude might get turned on.
Agony's Embrace goes in. Whoa! That was a hunk of damage Nintendude wishes he had right now. Shiphtur can't even really trade back as they kite into that pocket. No re-engage there. 12 minutes in, bottom lane. A wave advantage of just 3 casters. Pushing off YellowPete and Krepo right now.
That mid-fight goes to show the value of isolation right there. But finally the land. Now the question is, do they go back again? Once the Black Shield is off, you could still ultimate and try to chain something together. There's no flash on Krepo, mind you.
I like this. Wiz and both YellowPete have that champion that can fire out a quick Q, get a little long-range damage, and then they have the other one. Well, it just hits you in an AoE. Trade back and forth. It's pretty cool to watch between that lane. The ward comes in from Shiphtur, but they only get the timer on that dragon. Better than nothing to have, but they are now down 1,000 gold. Daydreamin looking like he could get a lockdown here, but nobody's following on his heels. He's just doing it for the pressure.
Coast out of sorts right now. I do have to say, EG really seems to be beating Coast at their own game. Coast, when they're struggling, defaults back to just trying to win lanes and rely on their individual skill, and that is generally what EG is doing right now, with the off gank from Snoopeh, which has been much more effective than NintendudeX's. So EG actually neglecting their team play a little bit and coming out ahead strictly through laning.
We've seen a heck of a lot more team rotating going on today. Right now, EG, like you said, in the laning phase is able to find wins. See if Shiphtur gets the roam on. We haven't seen him actually going to too many lanes. We talked about how promotion tournament before they were really playing the roaming teams, something that could take control of the entire map. And here they're kind of constricted.
Yeah, I'm wondering when Shiphtur's going to get involved. Still no boots. Much different than Voyboy's boots of mobility rush. Fast boots. Not a huge fan of the fast boots on LeBlanc. I like Shiphtur's style a little bit more. He's all about getting to the point of ability power where he can one-shot.
Yeah.
But if they spend too long in this laning phase, EG's going to take him down. InnoX's Lee Sin gets the turret. Golf claps all around.
Golf claps indeed. First turret, 14 minutes. We still only have 1 kill on the board. It seems like every game today has just kind of been slowing down a little bit more in pace. Teams are having a harder time figuring out how to get under each other's skin. Snoopeh back to the jungle. Both junglers are at 9. Top laners at 10. Nobody's grabbed any advantage in this game. It's pretty much even across the board.
Yeah, EG ever so slightly getting ahead in items. With the Ravenous Hydra being completed on InnoX. Very aggressive early. Wonder if he's going to try and make plays or just continue to be that split pushing force.
A lot more teams putting down just those hovering pink wards, we'll call them, on their side, but just enough to see the outside of where the team would be entering into the jungle. They're keeping a spot where they will have all the control they need. 2,000 gold behind now, it's about 1,000 still. We'll see if Coast can rock this one down on the bottom turret.
134 to 120. So WizFujiiN definitely playing with a bit more confidence down bottom, but we really get to see come team fights how well he can position on Varus, who is quite a vulnerability against Zed Kha'Zix. Ganks all around.
That was a very nice chain, getting it as he went back. So Pobelter couldn't trade damage, but was still slowed for the further damage coming in from Shiphtur. The mechanics in that lane are crazy.
Yeah, in that top lane, double ultimates were burned by InnoX, just for the expense of his flash. So he's really doing a number on.
He's enjoying the 2v1 situation.
Staying in though was a big miscalculation.
Doesn't have the kick. If he had the kick, that would have been great positioning, but Coast also wouldn't have put himself in that spot. A little bit of an error there, chalked up for InnoX.
Huge error at that point for InnoX. He had just dodged the gank. He could have expected Coast to still be there, and that cost him a turret and a kill.
Bottom lane, pink warded out. Snoopeh taking a good bit from WizFujiiN, so the gank won't go anywhere, but he may be able to return now and get some work done on that bottom lane. Shiphtur still getting his blue buff with the amount of, not wards they put on the blue buff, but Krepo was over there warding. EG hasn't been back to stop Shiphtur from getting it.
No, Shiphtur's farm is quite reliable, and he's at the point now where he can clear out waves as well. Coast also back into the game, thanks to that fortunate turn of events in the top lane.
Yep.
Really, they had no business getting that kill on the turret. But now EG needs to play with that. InnoX needs to not let it affect his mentality on Lee Sin. But it's tough when you make a mistake like that to put it at the back of your mind.
Very, very deep ward. You
They're
can
playing
actually
super
see
aggressive.
they put in the wolf camp. Like you said, got to be in the camp to see Eve, and they do find out where he is. A pink ward now figuring out where NintendudeX is trying to path. So the worry from EG can really be put on trying to counter gank this. ZionSpartan comes to mid. They're going to call InnoX down, make it a little fight.
Trying to get as much pressure on that mid turret as possible. But not much doing there. Zed clears the wave too well from range.
What could Coast be looking to do? Is it all the wait for the dragon in 1 minute? Ooh. Everybody's kind of milling about. It's not even ward wars right now. They're warding their own sides.
Yeah, Coast is really just looking to prolong this laning phase. I think they want Shiphtur to get to a point where he can start one-shotting people. And they're going to look to make plays off of that. But maybe they'll combo up.
Wow.
WizFujiiN has maxed Q, by the way. Stand in front.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to max Q, but with the way they're playing this lane, it makes a lot of sense. He's landing some really good harassment. That max piercing arrow.
We'll see if he goes for the Legolas build, the Last Whisper next. Right now he's only got that Bloodthirster. They're going to get this turret. It'll be quite nice for Coast. It's a bit of a surge in power here. They also kind of take pressure off if they're to go for the dragon. EG can only run towards mid now.
Zion, though,
Rutro.
probably going to have to... Ooh, does he have burnt flash?
Should be okay. No, the kick.
Yep.
Nice ward placement. He could be able to slice and dice if it's up. Flash is out. Flashes, and I believe he's going to go down with that flash going down as well. It's going to take a little bit more, but EG is able to come up with a kill in the top lane. Kind of retribution there for InnoX.
But the timing is a little bit fortunate here, actually, for Coast. They might lose some interior turrets, but they got to be able to take something back. The dragon is up in a second, and the mid turret is low. What is Coast going to do in this situation?
Well, it's trying to take a little bit more along with that. Blue, or red rather, is going to go down when they lose top. Now in position for Dragon, and NintendudeX is there. Smite up, of course, and they should be able to secure this without problem. It would help. They're down 2K right now. The surge would put them
Four
right back
people
in.
here. makes it a little bit too unsafe to hold. But what are the rotations going to be like? EG now has 4 people that ran straight towards that mid turret. Coast wants to make it in. Will they get cut off? They got to go a long way around. Place him a bit.
InnoX has teleport. He can be on this fight at any point in time. If a ward is placed, a very good initiation, but the spread out helps prevent a lot of damage from the Agony Embrace.
This Black Shield could end up being a real pain for Coast. When Morgana had just gotten the Spell Thief's Edge change, Krepo was first picking the Morgana that entire week. They've survived the laning phase. I actually want to compare the gold on the support item since it's mainly been a laning phase. Krepo's gotten 500 when you add it together versus 514 from the Targon's Brace, so very equal gold distribution as far as those bottom lanes are concerned.
This should be the turret. Actually, the team backs off. Too much front end from the team. Zion and both Daydreamin being there. It was a little too scary. InnoX now to the bottom lane.
Kill him if he gets a nice Q off.
It's only the Lizard. He does have the Ninja Tabis, but it's not going to negate that much damage. More than he thought, though. Didn't want to take the Q. I also see Connected coming out on the left side, so very good choice. InnoX not playing too crazy as he gets himself into almost a kill situation.
InnoX, because he was in that tough lane matchup with Renekton, actually maxed his W, his Iron Will second, his E first, and he only had 1 point in Q, which is why he couldn't necessarily fully assassinate right there. It's a good build for the top lane, but that's just why Nintendu wasn't in as much danger as I first thought.
All right, split open the map here. The final shot. YellowPete's like, I don't care about aggro. What's aggro? 30,000 to 28.4. EG slightly taking the lead. Dragon has been dropped recently. So what will be able to happen here? EG moving off the ball. Another turret for them. So the surge of gold now in their favor.
Yeah, definitely EG using InnoX's roam for their benefit. Just a correction, he maxed his W first in lane for Lee Sin and then his E, but they're both maxed now.
Right.
So even more defensive in lane than I first thought.
Blade of the Rune King almost finished for Pobelter. Had a little bit of damage on top of that ultimate, but the Deathfire Grasp from Shiphtur ready to be used. Another blue buff surrounding him and just able to spit out that damage rapid fire. He is sitting in the wing. Damage he's looking to do. Easy to push off this turret, but they'll actually have it once they get it up to the wave. See everybody gathering in middle. InnoX's teleport is down, but he will still tend to the side lane for now.
It's really surprising how these teams have done the push-pull and those 4 turrets to 3 without any huge action happening. This is actually the first definitive push of the game right here. This game may explode right off this moment.
Ooh. Well, it only blocks so much spell damage.
Yeah, well, here comes Snoopeh with the stealth. There's the fight.
To ZionSpartan, his first jump. And it looks like they are not going to get the damage they want. Leona's going to be the first one they can activate on. A nice 3-turn Agony's Embrace. Down to the other side. Pobelter tries to get the Death Mark down. WizFujiiN's going to pop, and he does so. InnoX trying to get some more kills. A great Tempest and Krepo kept the team all in one spot. EG's able to now pick and choose who they want to focus, but they're still trying to put a lot of damage on Zion, and he's done a great job of putting himself in front.
Just the fancy footwork here by Evil Geniuses, granting them 2 kills and no deaths. They continue the aggression, though. YellowPete staring LeBlanc and Renekton in the face.
Yeah, playing with fire. Everybody's playing with fire this game on the side of EG, but so far coming out unburned, really. 33 as they pick up a little bit of gold on that.
Take another look at this one. Yeah, Snoopeh landed a pretty nice slow in. Really just pay attention to where Coast focuses their damage. Remember, there's no DFG on Shiphtur because he'd blown it a little bit earlier. All the damage went down to Snoopeh while he was damage reducing, and then he flashed out. Whereas WizFujiiN is the one who had all the damage from EG, and he is actually able to be taken down. So at that point, it is a bit of an unfair fight, and this is the strongest point in the game, I feel like, for InnoX's Lee Sin. One of the big reasons he was able to dive so far in and still get out alive. With that maxed Iron Will, Big Shield and Lifesteal coming out for Lee Sin.
Just at that last second, you're expecting to kill somebody, and Lee Sin comes flying in. EG getting the last of everything they need just in the end of that fight. Kept them alive, but it keeps them in the lead. Turrets are all tied up, though, so the map pressure is coming from whatever wards and whatever position each team can gain right now. Not full items, but 2 core items on each side, I should say.
Yeah, this is one of these strange games where I actually feel like the team with Lee Sin is better in team fights with the top lane Lee Sin because of how strong InnoX is right now, and because of the vulnerability of WizFujiiN in these team fights against the Zed, Kha'Zix, Lee Sin, just super dive.
Look at the wards that Coast has in the jungle right now. There is literally no fog from mid down to the red buff. And the only place they don't have wards is the one they can already see. So Dragon should be theirs in 30 seconds. I'd be surprised if EG can make it through that without Coast having a great initiation.
Yeah. Well, with the teleport on InnoX, there's a chance they could force it around properly.
That's true.
It's just a matter of wading away through their jungle without getting picked off by a DFG LeBlanc, which is the biggest threat right now. If they can find a way to make it near the Dragon Pit, though, they get a 5v4.
It doesn't have to be right on it. Nien's teleports were somewhat far away in today's CLG game, and he was still able to produce some amazing results. EG knows they're really afraid of the fog of war right now because of all that Coast has had and every chance they've had to ward up this spot.
Where they
It's
go?
the first move.
Renekton is here, close enough.
Right down onto Pobelter. He gets locked down as the shield didn't really hit him just yet. WizFujiiN on the backside. Pobelter, he's going to get him. That's a huge kill, and he gets out almost unscathed. They could turn this one around. ZionSpartan to the right spot at the right time. YellowPete a little too deep on that one, and he will go down without being able to pick up one for himself. 3 kills for 1.
InnoX decides not to teleport into that fight despite the great start by Pobelter. Now he gets a turret, but it costs his team 3 deaths here. Very interesting decision by Evil Geniuses. Up 4,000 gold after all is said and done. I've got to take another look at that fight.
Kind of see why how crazy YellowPete went there, giving InnoX more time in the top lane. You usually don't dive into 5 people as an AD carry, but when you want to buy some time, it's an alright thing to do.
Every once in a while, InnoX getting the red steal on the way out as well. This game got rather interesting with that decision. Another look at this fight. Obviously, the Dragon was stolen by Snoopeh. And then, because of the Black Shield, Pobelter was able to sneak all the way through Coast. And at this point, you're like, yeah, we got it. Which meant EG went a little bit overconfident. They thought they'd have the lockdown from Krepo, but actually, Shiphtur actually bursted the support, not the AD carry, because the Black Shield is really the kryptonite of Coast, and they did not want that lockdown from the Morgana chains there.
A lot of back and forth there, but overall, that inhibitor turret in the top was taken down. It's all up to InnoX now to get back to that position, repush his lane. We'll see if the next fight can really go in favor of Evil Geniuses. It's a very big back and forth that only left EG with a bit of a gold lead because Snoopeh getting in and stealing that dragon. Quite nice.
Yeah. The kills have actually fallen into NintendudeX's hands on Eve. 3-0 right now. About to finish his Randwins. That's actually pretty key against a heavily AD composition on Evil Geniuses. If you can get into the right parts of these fights. But what they really need for Coast is for Shiphtur to get a little bit more one-shot power so he can go in the bonk people.
Seeing all these Warden males, but there's a Spirit Visage, a lot of Hex Drinkers as well. I was going to say, EG's passing up a bit of magic resistance. They've already got it in. They realized that Nintendo, that Shiphtur are going to be putting out huge amounts of damage. Now they're able to work on that armor because WizFujiiN, he's able to pierce out quite quick. Didn't decide to go for the Last Whisper. Actually went Phantom Dancer in that build. And applying those blights faster doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, well, he needs to find a way to stay alive when Pobelter gets to him. That's the one unsolved problem right here for Coast. Black Shield on his Zed means a very dead WizFujiiN.
211, 209 in that lane. Can definitely see YellowPete a little more comfortable having Krepo back in the saddle there in the bottom lane. And EG, more movement across the map. Yeah. Been a little bit better as a team.
Yeah, their team play is coming in handy right now since they were able to win the laning phase. Now the question becomes, how big of an impact can InnoX have in the split pushing game? Even though they were able to expose an inhibitor, it cost them a couple kills. Dragon Steel was very nice. Kind of bailed them out from that being a disaster. Is InnoX too much for ZionSpartan to handle? Really trying to give Zion a taste of his own medicine. Zion's normally the guy demanding multiple people be sent for him.
So what could Coast be looking for with somewhat of that pick? You got to get Evelyn in the right spot. How do you get around this EG team?
Well, Coast needs to get a bit of map control back, I think is the biggest thing. Just so they can get a DFG onto the right target before EG can really react to it. The other thing is if EG gets a heavy dive and somehow WizFujiiN doesn't go down, would be a big thing for them. But right now they're just under too much split push pressure. Losing
warding as well. They have what they need up towards Baron, but if you remember just a few minutes ago, we were talking about no fog in the bottom half of that jungle. Now they're forced to ward up their own jungle just to stay safe. Krepo doing that as well, so they can make sure to get the upper hand as it's cleared out quickly by Daydreamin, but this is going to be tough to guard.
Yeah, dark binding, pretty key right there.
They go in anyways, and it's going to be the shutdown coming in for YellowPete. They're looking at ZionSpartan now. Daydreamin also on the front line, taking too many turret shots. EG is going to have to back off on this one.
Wow.
The pursuit there from Coast. There's going to be Zion in the front line, slicing and dicing through some minions, trying not to get blocked up, but the team will not follow.
Really big Varus ultimate there to keep them locked down, but it wasn't enough because Shiphtur wasn't there. That fight was forced while Shiphtur was off wave clearing. So it was a smart force by EG and they get a kill out of it, but really not much past that.
No team is really allowing anything to be given up in these fights. They know it's going to mean a lot of base on either side. You have a mid lane to rush down for Coast and an open inhibitor on the top side. So Coast is trying to stop anything from getting closer to their base. EG keeps peppering this turret right now only with InnoX. His teleport's up so he can be present in any other fights around the map. Gotta expect that 30 seconds to Dragon is definitely going to be something EG wants to force Coast into a fight so they can grab more.
Yeah, especially if Pobelter can get a clean shot on the WizFujiiN. And we gotta note, this is like a playoff game for these guys.
Right.
While we have, earlier. This was actually what Zion mentioned yesterday after their victory, is how there's the Cloud9, TSM, COG trifecta. They're fighting for that #1 in the top 2, whereas this EG Coast XGG are fighting for the last playoff spot and to hopefully avoid the summer promotion tournament. EG, though, with the superior map control, just gets the Dragon for free.
Coast could take this as well. 1 game back from being 5th. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, remember, though, they're 3-0 against EG on the year. But Krepo's triumphant return, potentially. He's played a very good game on Morgana so far. Incredibly controlled, quite slow. But the Black Shields have been on point when they need to be.
Yeah, he's gone back to that Morgana time after time, and the play has only gotten better, of course. The rest of the team using the sweepers as they have him. EG is trying to just encroach on any vision that Coast has and push it all the way back to the front of the base. Only 32 minutes into this one. Like we said, it was slow. Slow kills, slow in turrets, and we really haven't gotten any surge. Every time there's a fight, you see 1 or 2 kills and nothing else is taken after that. See who can grab the lead. The majority trying to look for Shiphtur to get a kill. With low mana right now, Coast is kind of just on the farm roll. Who can soak up the most?
Well, Void Staff and level 16. I mean, Shiphtur is at the point where he can completely kill somebody. Still very little magic resist built on most of the EG team. If they find someone, whoa, Shiphtur will get him. Oh, YellowPete.
Wait a minute.
That was through Barry,
out.
By the way.
He's good.
Shiphtur would have landed his full E, that would have been a dead AD carry. Dangerous game he's playing right there.
Dangerous game for the next 5 minutes for him as well. Yeah, he has relentless pursuit, but LeBlanc on the other side is now just going to have eyes on target on the back of a flashless AD carry.
Yeah, no Barry either, and a very bold Baron call. This has got to be some type of force. There's no DFG left to out on Shiphtur. I imagine Coast has to peel for this fight.
They don't have super Baron damage either.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful. InnoX teleport in. Solar Flare is only a slow. Invisible for Snoopeh. A 3-person dragon kick on the backside, and it looks like Pobelter goes down instantly. He is zeroed out from Shiphtur's front end damage. Snoopeh jumping over the wall. Krepo delivers 1 last binding.
Wow.
It looks like they stopped that one. 2 kills on the solo lane.
They take out Pobelter before he can get off a death mark. Amazing right there by Coast. They're going to continue to try and force this.
A lot of damage.
They really, really want this bear. Not going down very fast.
No, not at all. If they can get a good Tormented Soil over the wall as well, that magic debuff they're receiving from Baron, this is going to be painful. Shiphtur making sure he's not the one to be taking damage. You can see the fog of war that EG is seeing right now. Shiphtur would have been pretty much clear on that engage, but EG has to give it up. And Coast Starts grabbing the bottom rungs of the ladder here to climb back in.
Very aggressive call there by Coast, and it pays off so well. That was really why they were just waiting for Shiphtur to farm. Farm and farm and farm, because they waited for him to make a play.
Yeah.
Then they tried to take an advantage directly off of that one, and it ends up granting them the Baron. So let's take another look at this just to see how Pobelter gets locked down. Pay attention to Zed right here, because the fight gets moved and he's trying to sneak in the back, but the instant he looks there, Spartan gets him with the stun before the Black Shield went on. A half second before. If EG could have Black Shielded him, he gets in the back, he kills WizFujiiN. This is a completely different game. But Pobelter went down because of the stun, and Coast gets the Baron. That's going to make this game a lot longer.
Yeah.
EG had the advantage. Now that it came back this way, Coast still doesn't fully have it. They either, they're just kind of waiting for gold, waiting for objectives. They're waiting a very wait-and-see playstyle, trying to just find the catches. And now EG is going to be scared of that too.
Yeah, 4,000 gold is not something they're just going to dive into a fight with. To them, they may think that they're pretty even in gold right now, because this game has been just that. Evil Geniuses have had the fight prowess to really put themselves on top. But now Coast with the strategic play of that Baron, and Shiphtur is going to be big in this game. We've always been looking at him on Coast to be the carry.
Yeah.
See if he can do it. ZionSpartan's had the pretty, it's not bad, but it's been a level game for him. So it's going to be really on Shiphtur for this one.
Wait a second. ZionSpartan. He's got a Seeker's Arm Guard in there. That is a little bit strange, I feel like. I've heard of Zani's Hourglass being a defensive item on AD carries when there's high assassination potential, but Renekton's another beast. Let me check his AP ratios there. Yeah, he has one of them on his ultimate, I guess.
Bam!
Yeah.
Maybe he's just been talking to Darian.
He's got a... Is that a 1-to-1 on his ultimate? Yeah, 1-to-1 per second on his ultimate, so a little bit of AP on Renekton. I don't necessarily agree with that, but he's going that way. A lot of stat gain from Seeker's Arm Guard.
Hey, you want him to be a hard carry, he's going to build damage. Pink Wards again going down on the side of Coast. This looks a little bit better. Even though they're on their side, it means they know they can hold that area. They're gaining more ground on their side. It's just been everything in their face. The top inhibitor turret actually has not been hit up yet. It's not been something EG feels they can go for. A little odd seeing that go down so quick and get no attention since.
EG's really just been confined here by the great kill potential of Shiphtur. Seeker's Arm Guard for ZionSpartan, keeping him tanky against Lee Sin.
Over 100,000 gold between these two teams. Only 6 kills, 5-4 in turrets here. It's definitely been a way to get around your opponent without getting the fight in for both of these teams. It looks like they may be forcing each other into this one though. Blue buff going to be forced to smite out here. And it's obviously going to go to Nintendude. Snoopeh is down.
Notice how far back WizFujiiN's playing in these fights. He's just in range of his piercing arrow until they get a little bit of lockdown on the Pobelter Zed.
Any wrong move right now, Jat, definitely means that something big is going to happen against your team. Daydreamin being the first one up here. Saw him using that face of the mountain a little earlier ago in his fight. Didn't help too much.
Big initiation.
Whoa.
Using the Baron buff to brute force things down.
Yeah.
EG knew they had no YellowPete there, so they had to back away. Not really a risky move there by Daydreamin, it just appeared so. This fight will go on forever.
It has been.
Yep. Don't think it's ever going. I don't think they're ever going to kill each other.
Always hoping for that different outcome. You're probably not going to get it. Looking at what our completed builds are here, we just see 3 full items on most of EG. A lot of people are going for that Negatron cloak now, trying to get out a little bit of magic resistance. Nobody wants to get popped by Shiphtur. He will make it happen. EG puts 4 in power here as they make their way down the left side of the dragon.
Yeah, big Dragon Force, fairly critical here because you know that they're looking a little bit vulnerable here. If EG can get the right initiation, another steal!
Ah, Snoopeh coming up big. He turned around though. The team is not going in with the rest of them. That was not even a teleport coming in. InnoX tried to get himself into the fight, but the team could not follow that gap close.
Yeah, and a flash over the wall down on the bottom side to catch Snoopeh.
Chains on, he does get a nice leap away, however. They won't follow, but still quite big. Snoopeh got some good gold for the team. It's only a 3,000 gold lead.
2 Dragon Steals on Snoopeh, and how critical is that going to be? But Daydreamin catches one.
There's the Soul Shackle. He's forced to walk out using it defensively. Pobelter, that Chain of Corruption hits! They're able to follow up on it, and Coast doesn't have the minion wave here. I don't know if they're going to be able to do what they want, but the top wave is looking good.
How many Chain of Corruptions did WizFujiiN miss yesterday, and how critical is this one to take down Zed? Now they can push onto this inhibitor turret.
The first time that Coast has been able to step foot in the base of EG, and it looks like they are going to turn that top half to shambles. The inhibitor will go down. Great plays coming out of Coast here, only working a little bit off of what they had earlier, and they're able to get a lot.
Yeah, really, really good turn there after losing the Dragon. I mean, think of how much different this game would actually be if Snoopeh hadn't smite stole 2 of these Dragons already, because Coast is showing a great propensity for these team fights, with Shiphtur being able to chase people down and WizFujiiN being able to land critical Chain of Corruptions thus far.
Good bros, Sarin out CS in the jungle.
ZionSpartan sold to Seekers.
Yeah, he did.
For Warmogs. I was getting ready for that. Zanya's, his ultimate is going to do so much more damage. Really, it seems like it's on a pretty respectable ratio. 1.0 per second? Like, that's absurd.
Are you going to go
that would
do
be,
that?
that would
You're
be
going to do
one
that
of
when
the,
you get home now?
That would be one of the best ratios in the game. Yeah. But goes for the Warmogs. They don't need that extra magic damage.
Given the solo queue ideas, Jat.
I'm going to have to double check that ratio when I get home as well. Because I can see it in the tooltip, but he had such a small amount of ability power, there's rounding and stuff that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not 1.0, it's 0.1. Yeah, that's a little bit worse.
Math.
Yeah, that's a little bit worse, Rip.
Because math.
Yeah.
We'll see how they go at this Baron. Coast, a little bit more damage on this one. They're going to be able to rock it down. They're not going to get too much off it either. No contestation from EG. They will start backing off of this. They don't get any slows on. But Jat, this is going to be tough now. InnoX is doing what he can, and he will back off instead of going straight down.
Coast is assuming control of the game here, but there is still the Zed factor right here. No GAs necessarily built. There is a Zonies on a Shiphtur and a QSS for WizFujiiN, so they're the ones who can somewhat stop Zed's burst. But I honestly feel like at this point, Pobelter does enough damage that even if the Deathmark is QSS'd by WizFujiiN, he could still die to a Zed combo.
And looking at Coast and EG, it's kind of like coming into this one. I feel like these teams almost mirror each other. Their solo lanes carry, AD carry and support, or a lane that somewhat, you know, can come out of nowhere, or they'll kind of fall behind and play with the team as they go ahead. And that's why I think why we're seeing such an even game.
Yeah, we're really seeing that here. And even though EG had a kind of a stronger team play style, they didn't show it in this game. And they instead just laned straight up against Coast, who are now more in their comfort zone because they've taken this laning phase and they've gotten Shiphtur to a very farm state. And when he's fed on the block, Coast plays very well because they can key off of his plays.
When you have the confidence of a guy who will flash face first into 4 people and get a quadra kill, it helps a little bit. We'll see if they get that confidence here as they push on the second inhibitor turret of the game. Coast is making quick work of any advantage they have. They are not waiting back. They're trying to go for more right away. A nice culling to give the turret breathing room from YellowPete. An ultimate down though. See if it's going to help stave off the full attack.
Yeah, a lot of tankiness on ZionSpartan and Super Minions pushing in. They might just go really hard here if he tries to contest. Where's the black shield on a Pobelter for an aggressive move? That's what I'm waiting for.
Snoopeh throwing himself in. Krepo is not going to be able to deliver that shield. Snoopeh goes down instantly in the fight. No, he lives. The ultimate damage reduction helps him stay alive, but it's going to be Shiphtur with the damage getting one down. Pobelter falls. Krepo goes down in the end, and it looks like they are going to wreak havoc on this inhibitor as well. They may be able to go for the full win. Wait a minute. healthy people coming off the base, chat. It could be staved off.
Yeah, 3v5, but the Baron buff is still there. That's 2 inhibitors down. Coast just going. They got super minions on the other side.
WizFujiiN can't get himself in range of these Nexus turrets. There's no focus there. It's just locked onto ZionSpartan. EG is trying to micro in and out to save themselves from damage. Snoopeh goes for the micro in, and the focus onto NintendudeX as he gets a kill. Shiphtur almost goes down in that one. No, he will. Sliver of health left. Stays alive. Shiphtur with the plays. Here we go. InnoX may take him down, but the Zanya's play. Everybody jumps on one spot. All the eggs in one basket. He's still alive. Shiphtur finally goes down to the end.
Double ace.
The last breath and the double ace. Nobody's going to end the game.
Oh, man. Well, no matter what happens, the whole game was worth it at this point because we just got our first double ace I think we've ever had in the LCS. The inhibitor responds as EG comes in and Krepo's able to defend that one. Let's take another look.
That was awesome.
Obviously, Coast tried super hard to get these Nexus turrets down, and they ended up taking a little bit too much aggro. But the reset potential is very real for Snoopeh. Goes in, jumps out, stays safe. And then Shiphtur is so low.
I couldn't even follow him.
Well, yeah. the crazy thing about all this is what actually happened with Shiphtur. Because the Zanya saved him here, and here we think he's dead. So he jumps out. Does he jump back in? Yeah.
And then he distorts the double.
He immediately came back to his old one, and then he used his mimic distortion to blow people up.
Word.
And then, while the W was in the air for Lucian, Renekton finished him off, and the W finished him as well. That's how double aces happen.
Very cool. Both hands played.
Ardent
awesome.
Blaze was the name of that Lucian.
Ardent, yep, the Ardent Blaze on W. Whew. All right.
That's cool.
And we're still even. I love it. 73,000, 73, 1310. The turrets, not so much even. Let's talk about statistics that are even. The game itself, Coast has gotten themselves a great lead off of these Barons.
And that last fight wasn't actually too clean, as far as anything is concerned.
Be honest.
Yeah, well, the big thing is Pobelter didn't get his Black Shield on himself. Krepo got bursted down by Shiphtur and had to shield himself, which meant when Pobelter went in, he was vulnerable to crowd control. If they can get that combo working, I still think EG can win fights, even if Coast has won so many fights in a row. Based on Shiphtur's power right now, a 756 ability power DFG LeBlanc. I don't know if anyone can withstand that burst. So,
well, we get to find out here today.
Yeah, up next.
As seen on TV. 46 minutes on the clock. This one is going for the long haul, and both teams are ready to play for it. They know what needs to be done here. Obviously, in that last fight, there's no last man standing. And I don't think it's going to be that way again.
For a second, I thought since it was a double ace and inhibitors were down that the minions were just going to finish the game. But luckily, the inhibitor respawned and the other inhibitor just fallen, so the minions hadn't made it all the way through. Maybe we'll get another double ace. You never know.
ZionSpartan pushing mid. They still have a little bit of room to work with here on the side of Coast. Usually you say a team has room to make mistakes. Coast might have room for one mistake, but they don't want to make it. Right now playing very safe, hard hats on the outside wall of EG's base, and Krepo is just looking for that one dark binding they need.
So dangerous right now. Coast is pretty willing to brute force this down because there is not even Nexus turrets defending, so EG has to go right away.
Minions in the bottom lane, they jump to the back. Shiphtur looking at the health bars of Wiz and Shiphtur in this one. Shifter's out of the fight. Clone goes down on that one. Zanya's to the back line. A lot of EG is playing catch up here to get back in. They do take down Shiphtur. A good hit up from Krepo, but he goes down in the fight as well as they trade supports. Coast may be able to turn this one around now as EG is kiting, not fighting. It looks like the inhibitor in the bottom goes up, but Coast is on top.
Yeah, the game probably would have ended from the minions, but the inhibitor respawned, which meant the Nexus was untargetable, and a bunch of minions got confused in the base. They did take down Shiphtur, and this extends this ridiculous game. See, the minions can't hit anything. They can only fight other minions right now.
They don't know where to go.
Poor fellas.
Poor fellas indeed. Another great fight from both teams that keeps the gold relatively even, and you can see how many activatable items are being used in this game. At Panza.
Yeah. Are you not entertained?
I think everybody's entertained.
Yeah. It became entertaining at this point. The game has definitely stretched here. Coast gets there. Yet another Baron right there. Whee! With a drop down to see exactly how many. 10 turrets killed. Bare number 3 for Coast, that's what I thought. Only 1 dragon because Snoopeh got so many steals. Another reason this game has reached this point. Max items starting to come in all around as well. I can't believe Snoopeh just went in by himself right there without a GA and still lived. Goes to show you the power of a tanky-ish Kha'Zix build with that 50% damage reduction from his ultimate.
He used that ult right. We saw him get hit up quite hard from a LeBlanc, and he was right as rain. Feeling good to get back in the fight, even with all that ability power. I'm sure it's going to sting as it just keeps growing from Shiphtur. This game is getting crazy.
Shiphtur can't get any more unless he sells his boots. Oh, Daydream.
Nobody can get caught out right now. This means life and death, but mostly death.
216 armor on Daydream as well without activating that Eclipse, the W on Leona. It's a hefty man to kill. This is rather dangerous, Krepo.
Oh my word.
Oh.
There's one. Oh.
Whoa. Yeah. Maybe he was hoping to force a flash or something. Trying to confuse Coast and thinking everyone was in that brush.
All right.
Explosion inhibitors.
Back to priorities.
Baron buff.
Yep. Coast
seen this before. It's a double ace.
Deja vu. Double ace incoming. There's only 1 more turret on the map. 11 turrets are on each side. 10 have been taken down for Coast. They just need 1 more.
In all honesty, EG is hoping for a catch. If they do get caught in a straight-up 5v5, but they will probably lose this game.
Oh, Krepo. Who's watching the backside, guys? They're good, though. Nobody can cut the pie on that one. Krepo gets back. Getting the Dark Bindings from the Fog of War, so he's keeping his percentage up. And they approach now into the base again, Jat.
Shiphtur and Zed are 2 huge priorities in this fight. Also, since the AD carries have so many items, they're the other 2 big ones here. Will WizFujiiN or YellowPete go down?
Whoa. Talisman of Ascension.
Here comes Snoopeh.
They go into the fight. They're piling on each other. Nobody can really target. WizFujiiN in the back. Very, very low. Only needs a shuriken. Blade of the Rune King comes out. Ignite's going to take him down. YellowPete goes in hard and fast on the pursuit, and it looks like he gets another one. Whoa! Exploded out. The shock and awe coming from Shiphtur. There goes Snoopeh. ZionSpartan's in the backside, and they're going to pinch it in. 3v2 here. Looks like Coast can close out the game. InnoX is only so healthy. One last shot to Shiphtur. The red buff.
Oh, he does it
Shiphtur
again.
comes up with it, and he gets himself a little bit of HP on the kill. That's a dangerous game to keep him alive. The Nexus is in their eyes. 50 minutes into the game. 160,000 gold for both of these teams, and it's going to be everything that Coast needs to take the win.
It took him a while, but Coast actually comes out of this week with a 2-0 record. They really needed this one. It really puts them far ahead of EG in that race for the last playoff spot. It gives them some comfort coming into Super Week. Got a double ace, got a single ace, got some fancy moves from Shiphtur LeBlanc. Firm handshakes coming into the end of that game too.
They had to cut through the EG team that's been waiting all week to get their players back. They wanted the win coming in. They wanted to put themselves back into that win column, but Coast said no. Down about 2,000 to 3,000 throughout the entire game, and then flipped that switch. Took a little longer after that, but they flipped the switch.